Welcome to the YouTube Velvet Room. It's been quite some time since you and I conversed like this, hasn't it? Not to worry. I see though you have found someone to share in the truth of this world, to dispel the fog of lies which has consumed this place. She believes that her life is like a caged bird, but I believe you can help set her free of these woes and troubles. Let us hope this journey ends well, my friend. Until next time.
So here she is, Figma Yukiko Amagi, and she is again looking pretty good and pretty accurate to how she appears in the game and the anime as well. She comes dressed in her Yasagami high school uniform, which is different from Chie's by the way. It's got stockings on, a much longer skirt, a red jumper which actually has some really good molded detail on it, as well as a painted button surprisingly. And she's also sporting much longer hair than Chie, which can cause some problems, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Standing Yukiko next to Chie shows how well these two Figmas work together, and just by looking at the differences between the two of them, you can almost glean some of their character, showing how well these two have been captured in their figure forms. Now in terms of articulation, let's start off with looking at Yukiko here, and she does have a ball joint in the shoulder, very similar to Chie. She does have an elbow and obviously the wrists there. Here in the head, we have a little bit of trouble with her head, but it can go up and down, but is hindered a little bit just by the hair piece. We have a waist piece, and here we have a chest crunch as well, but the problem is here, as you can see, that this is all rubbery, so when you crunch the chest area, it gets all kind of squishy and mushy. That's because most of this is all rubbery. There's very little plastic, and it's weird because if you look at the size of the back here, that's the plastic part, and this is all the rubber coating around the outside of it, which is kind of weird, but there you go. Put it back down. Where else should we go? Oh yeah, the legs. Here with the legs we have a cut in the skirt, so she's not really hindered too much, and they bend a good degree as usual. They do have other bits of what you'd expect for that kind of Figma articulation, similar to Chie. Nothing's really limited apart from the range that her head can move, just on the way that her hair has been sculpted here. Just because it is so big, it can be a little bit faffy to get it into the position you want it to. It is doable, but it's just a little bit irritating. But it's something you can work with over time. So in terms of accessories, Yukiko comes with her fan here, which is her weapon in the game, of course. And it's not bad. It's got nice detailing for a fan, of course. They even went to the trouble of painting on the white petals on there, which is kind of cool. It's got the slot in here for this specific hand, so you just plop it in this way, and it's all held together by friction. And because it's so light, she has no issues holding it or posing with it at all. Next up we have the fan in dynamic action here, which is really nice. It does have these two pointy bits on the end here for a bit more dynamic swish, made of a sturdy plastic as well from what I can tell. It feels good. It's got this nice gradient effect on it, and it's actually a really good representation of the fan just in motion. I would have liked it if they had painted on the petals, maybe one or two onto it. That would have been nice to really replicate it well, but what are you gonna do? It does have the issue though of being a little bit too heavy for the wrist joint to hold it, which can be a little bit of a problem, but it's still a really nice little effect part, I would say. And of course guys, this is a Figma, so we have multiple faces. Here we have her angry face. The only face actually has the eyes facing forward, I might add. And we have her blush face here. For those romantic encounters that Yukiko is known to get into. It's a real shame that they didn't give her her classic laughing face. I think that was a real blunder on their part, personally. But what are you going to do? You're just going to have to live with these two faces. And for those who don't know how to rip their face off their Figma, well, let's get on and do that. And, you know, pull off her hair and get on to the rest of that. Honestly, I really do think it is a horrible misstep by Max Factory that they didn't give her her laughing face, because, you know, that's what made Yukiko Yukiko, the awkward, creepy laughter that she always did, you know, in the most inappropriate situations for the worst jokes ever. It's just a shame. But anyway, guys, that's how you change the faces over, if you were interested, of course, as the camera refocuses. And let's move her back here. And we will have a look now at the hand rack, holding all but one of her hands. Again, a good selection as always with Figma. We have here her fan holding hand, pointy hand, holdy general thing hand, and open hand. And of course, the glasses holding hand. I found it much more difficult to actually get the glasses into the hand, basically because here we have a little curve for going behind the ear, which makes it very, very awkward and fiddly getting it into this hand and makes it very unpleasant, I feel. And this is how you would get these glasses onto the face, of course. We need to remember that Chie here had the two slits in her hair that made the glasses fit nice and secure, while here the glasses just kind of grip to the ears. And I have found trying this that it is best to do it when you take the face off to do this. If you just do it like this, as I'm doing here, without any prior knowledge, you'll see that it doesn't quite go the way it should. Mine may be a little bit deformed, as in there's a little bit of extra rim around the side of the head here, which I think means that the glasses don't grip to that side of her head, while they do here. So whether that's just my problem or the toys, it's hard to tell, but, you know, it even happens on to her other pair of glasses, the classic glasses here with the mustache and the crazy eyes, again like Chie had. They've got the hooks on as well, and these ones work a little bit better because they can flop onto the nose here, which gives it an extra little bit of grip. But even then you can kind of tell it's just not quite right. There's something a little bit off about it, which is a real shame. It might just be mine though, so take that into consideration. So that's it really. Yukiko has some failings, like the glasses not really going onto her head too well, which might just be mine of course. The fact that the hair limits the articulation a little bit, but I don't think that's really anything that can be helped. That's probably just a problem that most Figma girls have. And its biggest blunder, of course, the lack of the classic laughing face, which is the biggest irritation for me personally as a fan of Persona 4. But if you do like Persona 4 as much as I do, or you like Persona 4 The Arena, which still isn't out in the UK, which is a pain, I would say pick it up. It's Yukiko. She looks really good with Chie, and if you have the D-Arts Konohana Sakuya, I'm sure she looks good with her as well, which I don't have as of yet. And it's just really a shame that this is the last of the human Persona 4 characters that we're getting in Figma format. Yes, we're getting Aigis, and yes, we're getting Labyrinth, but they're not the Persona 4 cast, the ones that I want, unfortunately. But if we're lucky, maybe we'll get some in the future, but I highly doubt it, to be honest. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed everything you've seen here today, and I will catch you later for, I think, some Transformer stuff. Some old school Transformer stuff, because it has been a while. Catch you later, peoples.